Good afternoon, Dartington. I'm the award-losing Richard Dedomenici, and I'm very sad that I can't be with you in person, because I believe that the cumulative effects of lots of small anomalies can be huge. In this early performance, I attempted to break into Cardiff prison. An old man stopped, and I thought he was going to tell me off, but he was actually much more supportive than that. I was later arrested for aggravated trespass, but all charges were dropped after I explained that it was art. The police have a habit of interrupting my performances, such as when I ran around the UK with a fake Olympic torch about a minute before the actual Olympic torch, to cause the kind of uncertainty that leads to possibility, a state that's expressed rather well by this woman's face. In 2006, I formed a boy band comprised of asylum seekers to alter perception about migration amongst that hard-to-reach but opinion-influencing female adolescent demographic. Auditions were held, and David, Long, Saeed, and Aaron were chosen to be in the band, which was called Status. They received vocal training, dance lessons, and makeovers, and performed their debut single on London's South Bank as part of Refugee Week. The show was broadcast on Channel 4 numerous times, normally during schools programming. From its inception, the project was designed to polarise audiences, but even I was a little surprised by their veracity. Most criticism focused on the perceived exploitation of the band members, and while it was explained to the boys before they auditioned that the most we could promise them was a fortnight of interesting experiences, the director of the show left this out for dramatic effect. Everyone except Aaron had their cases under review at the time, and their lawyers said that participation in the project helped further their claim to asylum. I had no creative control over the TV show, and the process put me off making television for 10 years, but it was worth the death threats, because I have proof that it changed people's attitudes. People normally told me that either the show had made them cry and re-evaluate their attitude to asylum seekers, or that it was cruel and exploitative and I should be shot. Sometimes both in the same email. Fame Asylum was nominated for a Royal Television Society Award, an Amnesty International Award, and the project continues to be written about in academic literature around the world. I've since worked with Refugee Week and Counterpoints on a number of other projects, such as Shed Your Fears, which sprung from a discussion at the last Counterpoints retreat, debuted at Tate Modern last year, and has since toured to places such as the British Museum and YouTube's London HQ. It enables two strangers to share their worries, hopes and dreams, safely and anonymously. And next I hope to install it on the US-Mexico border. This unassuming street cabinet is actually a discreet, portable, lightweight, flat-pack micro house, enabling rent-free city centre living for artists, anarchists, the homeless and refugees. Next year I'll apply the same principle to an object the size of a house in my biggest commission yet for the Radical Independent Art Fund. If successful, it could potentially destabilise the property market. The Redux project is my ongoing attempt to disrupt Hollywood by making cheap copies of blockbuster movies in the original locations with amateur participants. I often cast against type to highlight inequality, and have so far made 70 Reduxes around the world. Most recently, the project was shown at Tate Modern and on the BBC. And my fake torch is currently on display at the National Media Museum. So it's inevitable that the avant-garde will be co-opted into the society it critiques. But if every invention eventually becomes convention, then it is the job of the artist to keep innovating. For instance, I'm currently investigating the radical potential of inserting performance artists into the 1988 US Dance Aerobics Championships. I also have a radio show called Reading Deeply into Pop, and a touring stage show called Popaganda, which you can find more about along with all the other work in this video at dedomenici.com/pop. I hope that together we can devise some backward solutions for a progressive future.